Hi friends, welcome to our identity series. This is a 10-part video series on what it looks like to live secure in our identity in Jesus Christ. What does it look like to live believing the truth and not the lies? What does it look like to know you're in right standing with God every day, no matter what? I want to encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel because that way you will not miss out on any videos in our 10-part series. Now, here's another episode of our identity series. Hope you enjoy it. Hi friends, we're continuing our identity series today, and we're asking this question: who or what defines us? Who or what defines us? You know, in order for us to know our definition, we need to understand that we actually have a designer. There is someone, a creator and a designer, that actually designed us. You know, we need to actually look to the one that designed us in order to know our definition, to know what defines us. It's encouraging to know that there was someone in the beginning, a God, that actually carefully and specifically and deliberately designed us. Do you know that the universe itself is created and designed, of course, but do you know that the universe itself continues to expand? The universe is not ended, the universe continues to expand. That's not an accident. In the same way, there is a God that created and designed us and continues to create and design today. You know, God is the identity giver. He is the one that gives definition, I believe. And it's actually written something incredible about how intentional and careful He was in designing us. And it says in the Bible in Psalm 139, "For you formed my inward parts, you wove me in my mother's womb," or you knit me in my mother's womb. "I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they all were written, the days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them." That is an evidence of a God that was careful, intentional, specific when He designed us. You know, one truth is that our mother and father created us, but there's a higher truth that God knit you and I in our mother's womb. You know, I have a mother-in-law, she loves to knit, and it takes time, and she's very specific. She's very careful when she's knitting. She follows a predetermined plan and program that she's carefully laid out. When she knits something, she's very careful and specific about it. That's you and I. When God knit us in our mother's womb, He was careful to specifically follow His predetermined plan and design. And so what defines us is what was in the heart of God, to knit us in our mother's womb and to be careful and specific about it. This means that I'm not an accident. This means, friend, that you are not an accident. God chose us. God purposed us. God planned us. We're not just some byproduct of an unusual set of events or an unusual set of substances coming together. We were specifically determined and designed from the beginning. You know, I heard a story the other day, a true story, that actually the great toy that has gone all around the world, the famous toy Play-Doh, was a complete accident. You know, some business people were actually trying to come up with a product that would clean wallpaper, that would actually bring cleaning to wallpaper. And it was a great failure, unfortunately, and this company was almost on the verge of bankrupt. But all of a sudden, some people got hold of this failed product and decided to add some coloring to it and actually add a scent to it. And all of a sudden, they had this toy that was then being transformed by some other people into a Christmas decoration, a Christmas ornament, and all of a sudden it was being appreciated and valued, and then all of a sudden they stumble into this accidental invention of Play-Doh, which we now know has gone all around the world, and kids all around the world are playing with Play-Doh. And now we have this phenomenal thing that's actually so famous and so well known. That was a complete accident. You know, you're not Play-Doh, friends. We are not Play-Doh. We are not some failed experiment. We're not some failed set of, chemicals and materials that came together and didn't work but ended up being something good. That's not how it was with us. We are not an accident. God was careful. He knit us in our mother's womb. From the very beginning, He determined us. And I want to end with this thought that we are actually a story that God continues to write. I read just a moment ago from Psalm 139, and it says there that God wrote our days in His book. So God, in a sense, has a book where He's written the story of our lives. He's written down the days of our lives, the story of our lives. We've all had tragedy, and that's not necessarily all from God. But God has nonetheless written a story about our lives. The days of our lives, not just the years, not just the decades, but the days of our lives were written down in God's book. He's written a story about your life. He's written a story about my life. And He's looked at that story. He's been careful, deliberate, intentional. He's designed us. He's made us unique. Not only are we unique in our thoughts and our emotions, but even our fingerprints are unique. There's no one fingerprint that's the same. And God wrote that story down in a book, our story down in a book. So friend, I want to encourage you today, you have a story, you have a carefully determined story that God wrote. You're valuable, He designed you, and you are certainly not an accident. He chose you.